Today we're diving into one of the most thrilling chapters in automotive history, the legendary 1966 Le Mans, where Ford took on Ferrari in a battle that would change motorsport history forever. Let's start with the man behind the Ford name, Henry Ford. Henry Ford was born in 1863. He founded the Ford Motor Company in 1903. The thing that made Ford so different from other manufacturers is they had a thing called the assembly line. The assembly line is now very common in our day, but back then it revolutionized the automotive industry. In the early 1960s, Ferrari had been struggling financially. They even filed for bankruptcy. Enzo Ferrari was very disappointed, but Henry Ford II, the grandson of Henry Ford, took this as an opportunity to try an attempt to buy Ferrari. Ferrari would be laden advantages in racing technology and in its prestige reputation. To say that Ferrari was good is an understatement. They won from the years 1949, 1954, 1958, and their 5-year streak from 1960 to 1965. Just for the streak to be broken in 1966 by the Ford Motor Company. How did Ford do it? Enter Carroll Shelby, a former race car driver who had made a name for himself with the Shelby Cobra. Born in 1923, Shelby was not only a very good race car driver, but also a very good engineer, particularly in the automotive industry. Alongside being a very impressive automotive engineer, in 1959, he won the 24 Hours of Le Mans with Aston Martin before deciding to step away to pursue his own high-performance sports car, also known as the Shelby Cobra. Shelby's experience and passion for racing made him a very great choice to lead in Ford's engineering feat. Carroll Shelby implemented his very innovative engineering and his ability to push cars to its limits and produced the GT40 with a top team of Ford engineers. The GT40 was a feat of engineering, with approximately 500 horsepower being produced by a 4.7-liter V8 with a 0 to 60 time in just under 4 seconds. The GT40 was nothing short of an anomaly from the American car manufacturer. Ford had assembled the perfect car, the perfect team to beat Ferrari at Le Mans. But who was the perfect driver? Ford not only managed to assemble the perfect engineering team and the perfect car, but they also managed to get the perfect drivers. The 4 top drivers of the era were Ken Miles, Denny Hume, Bruce McLaren, and Chris Amon. Fast forward to June 1966, the stage was set for an epic showdown at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The race began with Ferrari in the lead, but as the hours ticked by, the GT40s proved to be a formidable competitor and started to close the gap. Ken Miles and Danny Hume had apparently gained a 1-mile gap on the car behind. They were winning by a substantial amount. So while Ken Miles and Denny Hume led the race, basically the entire race, it's pissing me off. They led the race majority of the 24 hours. However, they did not pull out the win. Ken Miles and Denny Hume ultimately had the superior pace, but since they slowed down for this historic photo, Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon managed to win. So while Ford still managed to do the impossible, it was still a bit of an upset. Ken Miles was heartbroken, but he was still determined to win his first 24 Hours of Le Mans. After Ford's 1-2-3 finish in 1966, Ford set out to win another year and another year and another year. They managed to win 4 years in a row, all the way up to 1970. Ken Miles would not be participating in the next few Le Mans because of a tragic accident that happened at a test track while Ford was testing. Brake fade was very common in those GT40s, and he managed to slide off the track and catch fire, where he tragically died. So yes, Ford did it. Ford beat Ferrari at Le Mans. Ford proved a point at the racetrack. But what did they lose? My name is Reed, and that's the story of the 1966 Le Mans. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing and commenting and maybe even liking the video, or maybe sharing it with a friend. It really helps out a lot, and I can do a lot more on this channel if you do so. I know this is probably one of my first videos and it's not very good, but please try to understand. Thankful for all the support. Thanks for watching to the end. See you guys in the next one.